Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving straight into something that is an absolute game changer for the hospitality world. We're looking at how the absolute best hotels out there are totally shifting gears. They aren't just throwing up a listing and passively selling rooms anymore. No way. They are actively engineering these unforgettable guest experiences, literally from the very first click online, way past checkout. We're going to unpack this thing called the LEAD2STAY Blueprint. It's basically this brilliant, highly structured system that mashes up AI precision with real human empathy to grab leads, convert them without breaking a sweat, and turn them into lifelong fans. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. But to do it right, we really need to flip our mindset. The core difference between a hotel that's just doing okay and one that's totally crushing it, it comes down to one question. Are you selling or are you helping them choose? When we drop those pushy, aggressive sales tactics and really lean into what I'd call guided hospitality, the whole dynamic shifts. It stops being about pushing your product and it becomes completely about the guest's specific needs. You're just reducing their uncertainty and, sort of taking them by the hand to help them make the right choice.
So, to give you a roadmap, here's how this entire transformation plays out across 5 phases. We've got the guest blueprint, smart attraction, conversion and decision, real operation, and finally, reputation and loyalty. Starting off with phase 1, the guest blueprint, which is all about the complete transformation.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of it all. The biggest light bulb moment here is realizing a great stay doesn't actually start at the front desk. It starts weeks, maybe even months earlier, the exact second someone gets that itch to travel. This 11-phase high-ticket guest blueprint maps out that massive journey. It goes from the initial desire to escape all the way to them becoming a hardcore brand ambassador. And look closely, the guest is the absolute hero of this story. The hotel system, the marketing, the AI, the human touch, it all just acts as this invisible guide, seamlessly moving them along and removing friction at literally every single point.
But tucked inside this massive journey is something we call the silent lead. And honestly, this is the single biggest missed revenue opportunity in hospitality today. You know the type. Someone visits the site, maybe even starts typing in a chat, and then crickets. They disappear. But here is the absolutely critical takeaway. Their silence does not mean no. Actually, scratch that. It almost never means no. They just got distracted, or they had a specific question, or they are literally just sitting there waiting for the right nudge. Dropping the ball on these silent leads, that is exactly where most hotels are bleeding revenue.
Moving into phase 2, smart attraction and classification. This is all about catching those subtle signals.
So how exactly do we grab their attention and figure out what they need before they even pack their bags? Enter artificial intelligence. Think of it like a 24/7 super concierge. When a raw inquiry pops up, the AI doesn't just look at the boring stuff like dates and how many people are coming. No, it's hunting for hidden signals. Say a message comes in, "Hey, do you have something nice? We're celebrating our anniversary." Boom, the AI instantly flags this as a high-value romantic lead. Or if they ask about a crib, it tags them as a family profile. It scores the priority in a split second, building a full 360-degree profile so your team knows exactly who they're talking to before a human even types a single word.
The golden rule here? Intelligent routing. You absolutely do not want your highly trained, amazing human staff answering, "Is there free parking?" 50 times a day. It's a waste of their talent. Let AI and automation flawlessly handle all that repetitive volume, the midnight FAQs, the really cold leads. That frees up your human executives to do what humans do best, show empathy. They can focus entirely on those high-ticket interactions, the VIPs, the really warm leads, and talking through complex concerns. Because at the end of the day, a genuine human connection is what actually seals the deal.
Now compare that smart routing to the super common, honestly fatal errors hotels make every single day. Things like answering late, copy-pasting those generic, robotic responses, completely ignoring context and treating a luxury buyer looking for an exclusive getaway exactly the same as someone just needing a cheap bed for a quick layover. And get this, the data actually shows that simply responding in under 60 seconds can increase your conversion rate by up to 7 times. 7. Speed and relevance, guys, that's what wins the game.
Let's move to phase 3 and see how this builds. Conversion and secure decision, or what we call the assisted sale.
All right, so we are at that make or break moment where a guest actually decides, okay, here's my credit card. Getting them to that point is a very deliberate 5-step assisted sale. First, you confirm their specific need using that awesome AI profile we just talked about. Second, you present the absolute best option for them. Don't confuse them with a massive list of every room you have. Third, you proactively clear up any doubts. Fourth, make the reservation process totally frictionless. And lastly, confirm it and generate an immediate sense of tranquility. This whole system literally strips away their anxiety, like that nagging fear of picking the wrong hotel, and replaces it with total confidence.
But hey, what happens when those last-minute objections pop up? You know, is this too expensive, or are these photos even real? Because they always do. Well, armed with all those AI insights, your human agents know exactly how to pivot. Instead of just panicking and dropping the room rate, they rely on social proof, authentic videos, and super clear policies to showcase the experiential value. They don't just tell them, they show them why it's worth every single penny. So the crucial point here is summed up perfectly by this golden rule. We don't push, we accompany the decision. Modern hotel sales, they are entirely about removing friction and making the guest feel safe and excited. You want them thinking, wow, I definitely made the right choice, I am in such good hands, not feeling like they were just pressured into signing a contract.
Which brings us to phase 4, real operation and experience. It's time to actually deliver on the promise.
This is where the rubber meets the road, right? All those shiny marketing promises have to align perfectly with the actual physical reality of the hotel stay. The timeline here needs flawless coordination at every single touch point. Before they even show up, you build anticipation with great tips and info. When they arrive, the reception has to be agile but super warm. I mean, nobody wants to fill out a mountain of paperwork after a 12-hour flight. During the stay, the rooms must be spotless, and the service has to show proactive empathy. And at departure, just make it a simple, memorable goodbye. If even one of these links snaps, the whole illusion shatters.
And this brilliantly illustrates how you guarantee that flawless coordination. Check out how these systems sync up. On the left, you've got the executive data dashboard. Think of this as the brain, tracking every metric, revenue source, and conversion rate. And then on the right, the internal operation, the heart, showing front desk, housekeeping, and maintenance all moving in perfect harmony. Those cold, hard analytics perfectly inform the staff so they can go out there and create real, warm human magic on the front lines.
And listen, that operational magic, it is absolutely not an accident. It's a highly measured scientific system. When your whole team acts as one cohesive unit, you start hitting KPIs like these. We're talking operational response times of 8.4 minutes. Cleanliness scores hitting 4.8 out of 5. 92% of all incidents resolved immediately, leading to an overall guest satisfaction of 4.7 out of 5. I promise you, you are never going to hit those numbers if your marketing, data, and housekeeping teams are all hiding in their own silos.
Okay, phase 5, reputation, loyalty, and recovery. We are officially closing the loop.
A really critical mistake people make is thinking that the journey just ends when the guest checks out. Honestly, the most profitable phases are just getting started. Remember those silent leads we talked about earlier, the ones who ghosted before booking? Well, the data shows something completely shocking. 15 to 35% of those seemingly lost leads are totally recoverable if you just approach them the right way. That is a massive pile of untapped revenue just sitting right there in your database.
So how do we actually win them back? Well, the system essentially acts like this ultra-smart control tower. It monitors for micro-conversions, like maybe the lead wandered back on your website or clicked on a specific suite again. The AI catches these tiny, weak signals of returning interest and boom, it triggers a highly relevant, empathetic follow-up message at the exact right moment. And it's not spammy at all. It's super personalized. It's like saying, hey, we kept an eye on that room for you, which offers genuine value right when they are actually ready to pull the trigger.
And for the folks who did end up staying, managing their post-stay feedback is make or break. Enter the 5R formula. It's the totally professional way to handle your digital rep. When a review drops, you acknowledge the time they took to write it, empathize with whatever they experienced, visually resolve any issues for the world to see, reward them if it makes sense, and re-invite them to give you another shot. Actively managing feedback like this proves to future guests that you genuinely care. Honestly, it often flips your harshest critics right into your biggest brand ambassadors.
Which leads us straight to this incredibly powerful takeaway from the sources. Your reputation is not what you say about yourself. It's what your guests say when you're not there. Think about it. Today, 95% of travelers read reviews before they book anything. Your digital reputation literally is your primary marketing. The real, authentic stories, the grainy photos, the shaky videos shared by thrilled guests, that carries infinitely more weight than any fancy billboard you could ever buy.
And that, my friends, brings us to the ultimate goal of the entire Lead2Stay Blueprint. The point isn't just to put a head in a bed for one night. The goal is to convert happy guests into your absolute best, most profitable marketing allies. When you merge the sheer precision, speed, and analytical brain of artificial intelligence with the irreplaceable warmth and empathy of real human professionals, you naturally engineer this beautiful flywheel of loyalty, glowing recommendations, and direct, highly profitable bookings.
We've unpacked the blueprint, the data, and that massive mindset shift you need to really thrive in modern hospitality. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought as you look at your own operations. Tomorrow morning, when you grab your coffee and open your inbox, how are you going to transform your newest silent lead into your most passionate brand ambassador? Because the tools are all right there. It is time to go build that perfect journey. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep engineering those exceptional experiences.